if you are somebody who has a friend who's super into vintage media, specifically the music, and you want to get them into a song or artist that you've been listening to for a while because you think in your mind that it sounds exactly like the type of music they'd listen to, please reconsider, because I feel like a lot of people get some things wrong, and there's this sort of misconception that, for example, tremolo equals 60s and synths equal 80s, when that's really not the case at all. Because I know this guy, and he has been doing this twice already. He has been doing this twice. And I remember the first time. This was a couple years ago, and there was this one super popular song. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. I can't recall the name because it's not something I'd listened to, but I remember there's this one conversation we had, and he wanted me to listen to that song. He sent it to me because in his words, in his mind, it sounded exactly like it was from the 50s. Like it sounded like a very typical doo-wop type song from the 50s. No, it did not. I mean, like, I don't think people listen to 50s music often. I know some people do, but the guy who recommended the song to me clearly didn't. I don't think he's heard a single doo-wop song in quite a long while. He just has this, like, vague understanding of how music from the 50s is supposed to sound or how it did sound. And so he's just like, this sounds kind of like it could be. It sounds exactly like it's from the 50s. Let me recommend it. No, it did not. It did not sound like it in the slightest. I already heard the song before because it was a pretty popular song a couple years back, but it did not sound like that at all. And then he went on to do it again, but with a different genre. He picked 80s. Now, this is an artist that a lot of my friends are super into, and while I don't listen to him personally, I don't have anything really against him. But this friend, again, he's telling me that I should listen to this one album of his because it sounds, again, exactly like it's from the 80s. It's literally like, it sounds like it's from the 80s, like it could come straight out of that time period because he did such a good job at making it sound that way. I listened to it. There's synths. There's, I don't know. I think it's mostly just the synths part. And while there are some vaguely 80s sounding songs, like you can definitely tell that he is a fan of that decade and the artist from there, and he kind of wanted to emulate that in any way he could, that does not mean it sounds like it's from the 80s, like it's straight from the 80s. Just because it has synths does not mean that it's from that time period or that it sounds exactly like it's from that time period. Please understand this. Please! I know it's such a non-issue, but for some reason I get so annoyed when people say this because, like, yes, they know what I listen to, they know how I dress, but at the same time, do they really? Would they really know what I'm into, what my interests are? Have they actually been paying attention? Because if they were, I don't think they'd be recommending me music like this. And I've seen it happen on this one person. She posts 80s content. She asked for recommendations, and people were saying, oh, this one artist sounds exactly like she's from the 80s. No, she doesn't. Stop it. Please. And I'm sure, okay, all my friends who say this, who have done this before, I'm sure they mean well, and they're just trying to, like, introduce me to their interests or something that they truly believe that I would like. But I just really rather they do their research and actually listen to songs that I have spoken about, that I've been into, or just, like, literally listening to the most surface level songs from that decade. There's a difference. There's a very clear difference, and I wish more people understood that instead of just mindlessly recommending songs or artists just because they have this sort of, like, very, very slight vibe to them that suggests that they have some sort of interest in a certain decade. That does not mean that they sound like it or even, like, remotely like it. Please understand. Like, I'm all for recommendations, but this is getting ridiculous. Please.